mai oe, hoi mai oe. Anu anu ka iu ke hau, o mauna kea, ao he ana I po aloha, e hopu me hana. E hoi mai, e kui po. E hoi mai, a pili ka ua. E hoi mai, e hoi mai oe. E hoi mai oe. Kau mai ka hali a aloha, o ka wā mamua. Hu'olu ka wai onohi, ku meha meha. E hoi mai, e kui po. E hoi mai, a pili ka ua. E hoi mai, e hoi mai oe. E hoi mai oe. Hele I ko aloha, no kukino, pili poli he mole, no na kaua kau. E hoi mai, e kui po. E hoi mai, a pili ka ua. E hoi mai,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is now your 2-minute warning. And yes, none of our watches work here, but this is the real 2-minute warning.
e hoi mai oe. Palisa kuleia, he nani lua ole I kumaka. Kumaka I ka mamau he wehi ha'aheo. Ha'aheo no ka haleku ia o ke aloha. He mo'olelo kaulana na nusia me palani. Ka omuamua nui ka ho'auli ana. Maui kau hakahuna newa o na pā kaukani. No e ke ali'i o ka lahui. Ka e me pela nui la o na poliona. Palisa kuleia, he nani lua ole I kumaka. Kumaka I ka mamau he wehi ha'aheo.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and aloha. No, we're going to do that again. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and aloha. Here we go. Welcome to the 40th AFCEA Hawaii and International TechNet Indo-Pacific Conference titled Sword and Shield, Ensuring a Secure, Free, and Prosperous Indo-Pacific. I am Captain Vic Taylor, the Director C5N6 from U.S. Pacific Fleet Command, and it's my pleasure to be your MC for this morning's events. As a courtesy to our opening ceremony guests, guests and fellow professionals, we respectfully request that you silence all personal communication devices. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and remain standing for the singing of our national and Hawaii state anthems performed by Mr. Leon Williams.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Amen. Hawaii ponoi nanai komoi kalani ali ke ali maku alani e kamehameha na kawa e pale mekaihe maku alani e kamehameha na kawa e pale mekaihe.
Please be seated. I don't think there's any way to make those anthems any better. Wait, there's one way. At the end, he could have said beat Army. Yeah. I would like to welcome to the stage Chaplain James Reagan from U.S. Pacific Fleet to give our opening invocation.
Good morning. I invite you to pray with me. Almighty God, author of freedom and liberty, we thank you for your presence among us as we gather together from various agencies to kick off TechNet Indo-Pacific here in beautiful Hawaii. We give thanks for the opportunity to convene as one community, military, government, industry, and academia, united by a shared purpose to advance the technologies that safeguard our nation and promote stability throughout the Indo-Pacific. Grant the leaders in this room with wisdom and discernment as they explore innovative solutions and build lasting relationships, foster an environment of open exchange, mirroring the spirit of Ohana. Inspire them to wield the sword of technological advancement with precision and responsibility, and to strengthen the shield of our defenses with foresight and collaboration, while always remembering the ethical foundations upon which AFCEA stands. May the keynote addresses, the breakout sessions, and side conversations that soon will take place be characterized by visionary leadership, excellence, and rooted in a commitment to continue to grow together through further education, values necessary to build lasting networks forged in trust and integrity. God, we thank you for all those who contributed to seeing this conference come to fruition during challenging times. We especially want to lift up Corey and for his speedy recovery. God, bless the work of these leaders these next few days. May their efforts and accomplishments strengthen and assure relationships and contribute to a future of lasting security, freedom, and prosperity for all that call the Indo-Pacific home. And it's in your holy name that I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Reagan, for those opening words of inspiration. May I now ask our opening ceremony participants to come to the stage. Lieutenant General Susan Lawrence, U.S. Army retired, CEO and President, AFCEA International. Colonel Dick Palmieri, United States Air Force retired, President, AFCEA Hawaii. And Ms. Linda Newton, SCS retired, Regional Vice President, Pacific Region. Thank you, AFCEA Hawaii, AFCEA International, and opening ceremony participants. Will this morning's supporting sponsor, IBM Corporation, presented by Vic Mercado, Federal Defense Partner, please come on stage.
Good morning, everybody, and aloha. Hey, everything's been so wonderful so far. Hey, on behalf of AFCEA International and AFCEA Hawaii, welcome to the opening keynote session at TechNet Indo-Pacific 2025. My name is Vic Mercado, IBM's leader for Navy and Marine Corps strategic growth. I'm a proud PAC Fleet alumni. And it's great to see so many friends and familiar faces, including this morning's keynote speaker, who will be introduced shortly and whom I can attest firsthand is our Navy and nation's very best. IBM is proud to be a premium supporting partner for this year's TechNet Indo-Pacific. During my 2+ years with the company, I'm also proud of its increased efforts and commitment to supporting the Navy and Marine Corps, as well as our Joint Force teammates, Indo-PACOM, the Army, who we love, I love, every day of the year except one, the Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, our Special Forces partners, as well as our wonderful AUKUS partners who I know are represented here today. I am also equally proud of the work IBM is doing with our growing number of strategic industry partners, many of which are here today, leveraging the unique triad of IBM consulting, technology, and research from innovations such as digital transformation and technologies ranging from AI through quantum. I know full well it takes a village to address the challenges of this consequential AOR, the Indo-Pacific. Lastly, I want to acknowledge and thank AFCEA, AFCEA Hawaii, General Lawrence, Linda, good to see you all again, for hosting another wonderful conference and really during challenging times. Well done. And with that, I will turn the mic over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mercado. Would Mr. Dick Palmieri, President, AFCEA Hawaii, please come up to the stage for opening remarks and presentation?
Aloha, everybody. How many times can you say aloha in one day? Not enough. So I hope the aloha spirit's strong with you. Great representation of our national anthem. The hair on the back of my head is still up from that. The Hawaii National Anthem, very special. I've been here for 10+ years, and it gets me every time. The chanter who did a blessing, if you didn't know what that was him blessing the event. So, and the ceremonial opening of the lei is the opening of the event. So I think we're ready. I think we're ready to get going. So we're really glad to have you here. I have a script. I don't think I'm going to be able to read from it because most of the things that I said in my script here have already been said by others. We are very excited for this event, in spite of the government shutdown causing what we would call hiccups in our planning. But we're excited because we have the support and enthusiasm from local leaders to come here and share their mission, their requirements, their opportunity to learn. And we're very excited for our partners who are here to say, this is what's in the realm of the possible. If we talk, we can find opportunities to solve great problems that our nation is facing related to military capabilities. So really excited for you all to be here, and I expect it'll be a successful show for all of you, so very excited. Last year I talked about my chapter, and I do remain very proud of our strong, persistent team of volunteers. It does take a village for us to accomplish what we do in AFCEA Hawaii. And we've been doing this now as a chapter for 72 years. AFCEA Hawaii has been here for 72 years. And if you weren't tracking, this is the 40th annual TechNet. So we've been doing TechNet for 40 years. I haven't been here that long, but it has taken that village growing up over time, reshaping, finding passion in order to make that work. And what do? Well, they connect to cyber, IT, and ISR professionals. They create opportunities for learning and networking. They build the STEM community here in Hawaii by scholarships, grants, and other educational support activities. And they give young professionals the opportunity to become leaders in our communities and in their own. This is the village that helps us persist, remain relevant, and make a difference. This 40th TechNet is a product of that passion to make it relevant to the warfighter's needs, to share knowledge that empowers us all for our national security and global stability, and to show the next generation is stepping up in our drone, robotics, and cyber capture the flag, which I hope you get a chance to go see. And our partner with AFCEA International, as our parent organization, amplifies that tenfold. So we do appreciate how our chapter and AFCEA International, which is why you see them both here, really get after this. And it makes a difference for Hawaii, and it makes a difference for the warfighting community and others. In terms of local outcomes, we raise funds so that we can go back to the community. This year, again, we are giving more than $40,000 in STEM grants to Hawaii K-12 schools and over $150,000 to over 55 Hawaii students who are pursuing STEM degrees. Our emerging, yeah, very proud of that. Our emerging leaders, Intel Committee, Cyber Committee are actively creating networking exchanges for young professionals, and that's all coupled with a robust recognition program and growing corporate sponsor program. So if you're not a corporate sponsor for our chapter, please see Jeff Bloom. I am very thrilled to be part of this team, and I do want to thank you and my board of directors for everything that they do to bring their passion to make things like TIP 25 come to fruition. I'm very excited for the free, open, secure Indo-Pacific theme. The sword and shield allows you to define it as you want. Aggressive capabilities, protective capabilities, defensive capabilities. Whatever it is that you offer, I'm sure you can find a way to say, we can make it the nation's sword, or we can make it the nation's shield. So I encourage those conversations, and I do look forward to hearing some of them myself. My challenge to you before you depart here at the end of the week is to be enriched by the exchange of great ideas, make new friends, professional relationships, and otherwise. I also hope to see the necessary foundations built for industry to deliver the capabilities that will build the readiness and posture needed in this region. And finally, I hope we can inspire each other with technical ideas, leadership, and mentoring. So there's my general opening, but before I move on, I do want to call a friend of AFCEA Hawaii to the stage, Nancy Temple. So, Nancy is a long-term friend of our chapter, but she's probably a longer-term employee at AFCEA International, and she'll be retiring this year for the great work that she's done, both for education and for helping run AFCEA International as executive secretary. AFCEA Hawaii did want to give a quick recognition to her, and Susan, I did approve this through other channels, so okay. So I'm going to step out here. Yeah, just come on over here. A representation of Hawaii so that you can take it with you and remember. So,
Thank you all.
and with that, I turn the floor back over. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palmieri. We'll take a brief moment to make sure you silence your personal devices. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my sincere pleasure to introduce our opening keynote speaker, Admiral Koehler. For those interested in learning more about his distinguished career, his full biography is available on the TechNet Indo-Pacific 2025 app. In a career spanning over 39 years, his achievements upon graduating from the University of Colorado Boulder include a naval aviator with over 3,900 flight hours in the F-14 Tomcat and the F-18 Super Hornet, with 600 career carrier landings. Former command of the USS Eisenhower, command of Carrier Strike Group 9, with subsequent command of U.S. 3rd Fleet, and the former deputy commander of U.S. Pacific Fleet, among other distinguished positions. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to an outstanding leader, my boss, and our opening keynote speaker, Admiral Stephen Koehler, Commander, U.S. Pacific Fleet.
All right. Thanks, Rick. How you doing, my friend? All right. Well, good morning, everybody. How are you all? Boy, the welcoming act, so I'll take it. Certainly, good morning. Wonderful turnout here, not only in this room, but throughout the exhibit hall. Great to see everybody here Thanks for the kind introduction, Vic. Thank you for not going through the entire thing. It, just exacerbates my age, so I appreciate that. A whole lot of friends out here. I know there's a large array of distinguished visitors and former flag officers, mentors of mine. So welcome everybody to TechNet. Fired up to be here, as you can imagine, at AFCEA's signature event in the Indo-Pacific. TechNet is just one of many highlights for us at 250th Navy birthday this year, and it's a great event, and I couldn't be more happier to be here. We all have a common goal here, and specifically that's to advance operational capabilities that outpace evolving threats. If you're here, you're part of that goal, and I look forward to succeeding with all of you. That means three things. First, success means we continue to deter our adversaries and preserve peace. Second, success means that should deterrence fail, our military remains able to prevail at any time over any adversary. And third, success means we continue to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific that allows all nations, large and small, to connect to the global economy and prosper. I hope one of the things you take away from TechNet and your engagements with our senior military leaders here is this: when we all work together for results, nothing and nobody can stop us. And we're here to win. And I'm here to win with you, and we're here to win together. Today, we must win and maintain our dominant posture in a battle space that is evolving faster than ever. Trends in conflicts around the globe highlight the importance of multi-domain operations. As importantly, they highlight the need for rapid innovation and lightning-quick adaptation from the drawing board to the battlefield. They highlight the need to integrate and adapt all domains of power projection: land, sea, air, space, cyber, information, all to mass effects at the time and place of our choosing. And they highlight the imperative to integrate and adapt commercial and military uncrewed platforms with proven legacy platforms, sensors, and weapons to hold critical platforms and infrastructure at risk. Our rapidly evolving battle space, speed is a defining characteristic. And I'm not solely talking about the physical speed of ships and submarines, aircraft and weapons. I'm talking about the speed of decision, the speed of information, and the speed of adaptation. This concept is certainly not new. Being able to operate inside the enemy's decision cycle, or OODA loop, as Boyd would have said, is fundamental to military success. The U.S. Navy's ability to quickly analyze intelligence, reposition assets, and launch decisive strikes at the Battle of Midway led to a pivotal victory that changed the course of World War II in the Pacific. Speed has won many of our battles, and it still does. Just as speed is a defining characteristic in our modern battle space, we also need persistence. And what I'm talking about here is persistent power projection and persistent domination of the battle space, leading to a denial of the adversary's objective. It means forces are able to execute prolonged operations against evolving threats, and our forces are able to operate inside the enemy's weapon engagement zone, or WEZ. I think it's important to note that operating inside the WEZ is not new, though there continues to be rhetoric and opinion to the contrary. From the battles of the Revolutionary War, when the WEZ was defined by the range of the lead ball fired from muskets by a linear group of troops, to the Cold War, when our ships and aircraft operated in the range of Soviet weapons, to today's operations in contested environments with high-end threats, our forces have navigated and fought within WEZs with precision and confidence. Operating forces within the range of enemy weapons with the needed persistence to have an effect takes ingenuity, it takes creativity in both tactics and equipment, and that's what we have consistently done and how we're going to manage the inherent risks of those operations going forward. You know, the Continental Army adjusted their tactics by flanking those rigid British formations. The Navy built, and as an F-14 guy, built the Phoenix missile, put it on an airplane, generated a level of airborne battle control management through Link 4, yes, Link 4 actually worked, to counter the WES of the Russian airborne maritime strike. We've always generated capability to operate inside weapons engagement zones, and today is no different. We must not be deterred from operating at the time and place of our choosing. To do so would succumb to an adversary area denial strategy and cede battle space, and I refuse to do that. So to recap, I need speed, I need persistence, and I need the ability to operate inside weapons engagement zones. You know, we're the finest military in the world, not because we have the most ships, subs, and aircraft, but because we have the best ships, subs, and aircraft, and they are crewed and maintained by the best people. To continue to develop the best platforms and people, to advance the joint force, we must integrate the capabilities of our manned and unmanned systems. Work with industry to improve integration, resilience, security, and capacity of our command and control systems. Train our people and link their development to the joint warfighting functions of command and control, movement and maneuver, fires, intelligence, sustainment, protection, and information. For it's the power and capability of the joint force that makes us number one. While I'm responsible for all of those functions, of which no single one is more important than the other, today I want to focus on accelerating the cycle of action between maneuver and fires. Why concentrate on that, you ask? Because it gets to dominating Boyd's OODA loop that I mentioned earlier. We all know here maneuver is the deliberate movement of forces to gain a positional advantage over the enemy. It's about moving from point A to B, but it's also about controlling the tempo, exploiting weakness, and dictating the terms of engagement. Fires enable maneuver by neutralizing threats that would otherwise hinder maneuver. Maneuver, in turn, enables fires, which in turn enables maneuver. When our forces maneuver to a position of advantage, they provide new targeting opportunities for fires. The coordination between maneuver and fires creates a cycle of pressure intended to make the adversary struggle to counter. Fires shape the battlefield, maneuver exploits it, and together they overwhelm the enemy. So we want emerging capabilities that increase the rate of fires in our maneuver cycle, because the speed of that cycle is key to massing effects, persistently dominating the battle space, and ultimately winning faster. I can hear some of you saying right now, yeah, okay, Admiral, so you seem to want it all, and how do we do all that? Well, first, yes, as the operational commander, I want to ensure the capability exists to buy down risk and put our warfighters in the best position to win decisively and quickly. To my staff and to people that hear it, yeah, I want it all, absolutely. To the second thought, I can tell you that our Navy and Marine Corps team is pursuing a variety of compelling initiatives to get after those things. You know, as a force, we continue to strive for strategically meaningful gains in the fastest possible time with resources we already have. We work to integrate autonomous systems into every domain and every type of warfighting, not to replace our legacy capabilities, but to enhance them. We continue to build the fleet by operating those systems with legacy systems and investing in artificial intelligence applications. The U.S. Pacific Fleet is a key leader to all those efforts. We continue to develop and integrate our unmanned surface, undersea, and aircraft squadrons for the high-end fight. Our Maritime Operations Center, or MOC, is the model being used throughout the Navy and continues to refine its integration with the Joint Force, with allies and partners that link the fleet commanders to the full range of sensors, shooters, and effectors across the battle space. The MOC concept and our unmanned systems rely on resiliency in our hardware, our networks, and our data. On the hardware side, PAC Fleet is augmenting traditional military comms with scalable, agile options for contested bandwidth-constrained environments. We continue to integrate these things like commercial SATCOM, 5 and 6G, and open radio access networks into our maritime architecture. It's a challenge for Vic. These capabilities open our door for the rapid deployment, adaptation, and specific mission needs for enhanced spectrum agility. You know, our progress is not just limited to hardware. We're also revolutionizing how we use data. We're expanding our operational reach and digital resilience through strategic partnerships with you and with all of industry. We're using commercial network fabric and data centers across the Indo-Pacific to enable persistent connectivity for distributed maritime operations. We're integrating commercial cloud infrastructure and services to ensure data is processed, stored, and accessed closer to the tactical edge. That enhances our mission readiness, our survivability, and ultimately, our decision superiority. As just one example, Navy Exchange Point started right here in Hawaii and is expanding throughout the Navy. We now use it to send secure data from anywhere to anywhere in support of the War Department capabilities. That means sending it from our headquarters directly to the warfighter and many other possibilities. So Pacific Fleet is changing how we use data. We also appreciate the symbiotic relationship between data and our artificial intelligence, where more data improves AI. AI improves data analysis, and together they drive efficiency. To achieve that symbiosis, we are integrating and enabling all of our data and pairing it with AI. We are using AI on nearly every network to develop familiarity with our team and improve decision-making throughout our commanders. We're embracing a hybrid government-commercial approach that partners with private sector leaders to accelerate innovation on AI. And we are working with partners in industry and government to integrate it into our day-to-day functions and operations. Those include command and control, cyber, logistics, ISR, target analysis, and more. Our overall purpose in these efforts is clear. We will use AI and human-machine teaming to operate inside the enemy's OODA loop, across every echelon, and from seabed to space. We will enhance our command and control, increase our lethality, and dominate in the WES, across the entire continuum from competition to conflict. Going forward, I envision a future where the Pacific Fleet is empowered by artificial intelligence, where sailors and commanders at every level balance the art and science of warfare to make more effective decisions with superior outcomes faster than the adversary. A future where AI further accelerates the cycle of action between maneuver and fires for decisive combat advantage. That is the North Star I give my team every day. I can't do it on our own. We know our industry partners are key to all of these critical efforts, and it's not just AI. As we move forward together, we should combine our unique strengths. We should blend the best of both of our worlds to see and then achieve the art of the possible. Industry brings speed, scale, and breakthrough innovation that pushes the boundaries. Our naval warfare centers deliver mission assurance, technical expertise, and lifecycle support. By integrating government-owned capabilities with cutting-edge commercial technologies, we unlock new levels of agility and resilience. One potential example of the best of both worlds is the Forge, which you haven't heard is the new advanced manufacturing facility which opened at Schofield Barracks just this year. The Forge and similar capabilities will allow our sailors to quickly obtain reliable parts outside the legacy stock system. However, in doing so, it also compels us to modify our processes for quicker repairs. Our sailors power our fleet, so when they receive these parts, they must also have confidence and authority to install them instead of waiting on contractors. As we innovate and operate faster, our sailors must have the ability to not only fix their own gear, but retain ownership over their own resiliency and combat readiness. For example, if an unmanned system needs to be reconfigured during the fight, our sailors need to do it all. We owe our warriors the right to repair and reconfigure their own equipment. None of that stuff is easy, but our competitive advantage and edge lies in how well we continue to harness this innovation and partner with industry and continue to integrate emerging technology and capabilities. To that end, we must continue to experiment together. And so if you're asking, how do I get involved? The Pacific Fleet conducts recurring cycles of studies and exercises, experiments, and war games, all supported by intellectually honest assessments. That includes our integrated battle problems, which are essentially large-scale experiments that integrate high technical readiness systems with innovative tactical employment to truly close warfighter gaps. For example, in May, we completed the Integrated Battle Problem 25-5, just off the coast of Japan, which demonstrated manned and unmanned autonomous capabilities to a clear path through simulated minefields. Our constant drumbeat of experimentation and innovation will continue with more battle problems throughout this fiscal year. I consider it experimentation combined with rehearsal. Our common practice here is to pair them with exercises to work in parallel, specifically to develop new capabilities and build new concepts of operation. It might sound to you like we're building the airplane while we fly it. That is no accident. It's by design. We have to work fast to take advantage of today's rapid pace of technological innovation. We have to get that capability into the hands of our sailors quickly to enable them to innovate and force change if needed. Our progress in these battle problems and many other efforts is happening because the U.S. has some inherent advantages in the development of new technology and innovation that builds warfighting advantage. Specifically, to further our military capabilities and technological edge, we will continue to leverage our nation's largest strategic advantage, the free enterprise system that adapts and relentlessly innovates. To do that, we need partners that rise to meet the challenge and opportunities of our time. We need ships and submarines and aircraft and autonomous capabilities, command and control, and all of those things to be delivered on time and on budget. The team here has to deliver what was bought and paid for on time. so I can continue to harness that success. On a larger level, we need our industry partners to move beyond supply chain disruptions and workforce shortages, which are challenges, and make visionary investments and process changes to further enhance the defense industrial base. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with these challenges alone. We can leverage our asymmetric advantage, which is our numerous allies and partners we're blessed to have, both in the military and the commercial space. We're achieving historic integration with a growing number of allies and partners across the Indo-Pacific and around the globe, which includes the development of shared capabilities, the development of defense industrial base integration, dynamic posture initiatives, and exponential growth of our combined exercises and cooperative deployments that enable it. When we innovate with them, co-produce and field interoperable systems that all of us can use, I personally think the possibilities are endless. So here at TechNet, we bring all these possibilities to life. In my closing message to you, it's this: I want to leverage America's innovation advantages to an even greater extent. And as a demanding operator, I do want it all. I want speed. I want persistence. I want the capability designed and built to enable operations inside the weapons engagement zone. And going forward, I want to take our partnership with industry with you to even greater heights. Let's continue to strengthen our rapid acquisition strategy, put our best technology in the hands of our service members as soon as possible, and continue to outpace the competition. Let's take a holistic, innovative approach that brings transformative, strategic gains to our force. That includes considering things we're not doing, that we should be doing. That includes embracing the red, which is Navy speak for embracing the problems, adjusting quickly, and running to fix them. So TechNet and all of you here, let's get to work. Together we can and will innovate to strengthen America's military dominance, to grow our warfighting advantage, and to guarantee our ability to win at any time. I'm fired up to work with you. I'm fired up to understand your thoughts, to understand your innovative ideas. I certainly want to thank you for listening to me and giving me the opportunity to open TechNet. If there's any questions, I look forward to those. Mahalo and good morning. All right, bring it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We do have several questions from the audience.
Okay.
First question this morning. What is U.S. Pacific Fleet's role in future major combat operations in the Indo-Pacific?
Okay. So a couple things. First of all, I think for everyone here should know our job specifically for Pacific Fleet, and I think across the joint force, is deterrence. So if we're looking at our role, it's to ensure we have combat-capable credibility, which means the ability to take the fight forward to the enemy and win at the time and place of our choosing, and ensure that that capability generates deterrence. I mean, that is our duty writ large. When you look across the gamut of then should deterrence fail, it's PAC Fleet's requirement to not only synchronize across the joint force, which I think is vitally important, but ultimately have the combat capability to win. And when I talk about win, I'm talking about reducing the level of risk that I can bring to the most, to the fore to enable our warfighters in the weapons engagement zone it talked about that can take that fight to them. And as an opportunity to maybe just get on my soapbox on the weapons engagement zone, for everybody here, there continues to be a little bit of rhetoric that, a missile envelope or some sort of line on a map that defines a range of a weapon is actually effective at keeping us out. We in the military are part of taking that fight forward. And, it's kind of like if you have two boxers in a ring, and if they're not within the reach of each other, then you have two dancers in a ring. And if we're going to fight, you've got to have the ability to reach out and do that. And if the fighter that you're fighting has a longer reach than you have, then if you don't maneuver, if you don't work different ways to get in there, he's going to pummel you. But that doesn't mean you don't fight him, and that's not what militaries do. We work inside the weapons engagement zone. That's how you affect the fight, and that's our job. And so when you look across the Pacific Fleet from a naval perspective, the ability to maneuver, to take the fight forward within their zone and ours, that is where Pacific Fleet fits. Specifically across the broad joint force, that's where Pacific Police, if that answers the question. Anything else?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. This next question comes from one of our emerging leaders. As a young individual, what advice would you give to effectively adapt and navigate through our constantly changing environment? What can I do to give back to my country?
First of all, thank you for asking the question. That's what you can do. And number one is have the motivation and desire to be part of this solution, right? If we look at deterrence and the point of our military is to, again, have this power to be able to hopefully deter and be in a position to win when called. The continued battle space that we're in, we somehow think this is a difference. And the battle space and the capabilities across history have always changed. Warfare is always adapting. Somehow we get this feeling right now that it's adapting, and oh my gosh, we have to adapt too. Man, we always adapt. And oh, by the way, while we adapt, and to this point, to effectively adapt within the changing environment is to effectively adapt within the changing environment. The bottom line is that as soon as we execute some level of capability, the enemy or the adversary will get a vote, will adapt, we will adapt, and the ability to be inside that decision cycle and to think about those things is how specifically I think you can effectively do it. So just asking the question, put yourself in a position of, you realize there's change. Change is inevitable. If you are not changing, it's a status quo. Status quo is a losing position because whomever you're going against is going to change. And if you don't do it with them, you'll be left behind. And so I appreciate the question. Just by asking, it kind of gets me all fired up. It means you're thinking about the fact that it is constantly evolving. It is constantly needed to be better than our adversary or your competitor or whatever those cases may be. I think it's great. So if that answers your question, hopefully come on to the team. Love it.
Thank you, sir. The next question from the audience. How is PacFleet working with our allies and partners in cyber, space, and intelligence? What can industry do to support these efforts?
Yeah, it's a very good question. As mentioned, we have opportunity both in the industry space and in the military space with our allies and partners. As just an aside, I think that's our strategic advantage. As I look at competitors across the globe, the like-minded partners that we have opportunity to work with is something that they don't have. And so as you look across those span of influence and capability, that provides us this asymmetric advantage. When you talk about space and cyber intelligence, everybody has different capabilities and different authorities for which they operate. And all of those things then provide different avenues to affect the adversary in this case. The work from industry specifically and the ability to support is continued integration. I mean, I'd like to think, and I know, that we have a hugely innovative culture in the United States, that we have this ability to rapidly innovate, you know, selfishly, hey, we're better than nobody, but everybody has good ideas, as you all know. And if we have that ability to integrate with them and, you know, as I always say, if you're the guy or gal that is not concerned about the credit but moving things forward, then you will move things forward and have the ability to take advantage of that in your own space. This is exactly where we are with our partners. There is a large innovative space for which you are all radically involved in, and that is not constrained by our international or geopolitical boundaries. And so continuing to integrate together is what's going to move this ball forward. I would argue that as we go into some sort of conflict, very rarely, and in this case, in the Indo-Pacific, do I expect that this will be done alone. The integration with allies and partners will be the asymmetric advantage that helps us both geopolitically and actually dynamically in the fight. And so continued work with them is the way to do that.
Thank you. Could you share any details about the new technologies PacFleet is developing and working with, for example, drones, and what problems that technology aims to solve?
What I can tell you specifically is in all of the things of which some of you are involved with, we continue to work in all multi-domain areas. The challenges that we have with that, and where I need your help, is one, command and control, and the ability to command and control across domains, and ensure that we have an integrated capability to do that. That's not only in the technical command and control, which is automatic target recognition, the ability to maneuver, you know, in concert, so that we're having a capability of best weapon, best target, and that we're not, you know, wasting or fratriciding those targets with each other. And so that technical command and control is not simple. We have continued to make great strides with that, but when you combine all of the domains in that regard, that gets hard to work on. And so continued advancement there is helpful. And then an understanding specifically of the battle space. So not only is it technically working, but what do we actually see in this battle space to make ultimate decisions? Right? Ultimately, when we have some effect that's happening within a manned and unmanned capability, the understanding of and the decisions that the commander needs is a level of situational awareness across the whole spectrum. Spectrum meaning the whole, not spectrum as in technical spectrum. Spectrum is across the battle space. You know, the perfect solution is we have clarity. We realize that war in general or conflict in general doesn't provide clarity. That's half of the issue, is that there is the fog of war and all those things. But the ability to sequence and see how all these manned, unmanned teaming systems are executing in the battle space, and a level of presentation to the commander to see that and assimilate that in a time and space that enables decisions is the, you know, North Star golden rule. That'd be awesome. That will continually need change. You know, it will morph. It will constantly morph. And we'll have to be resilient enough to skip and hop and move from different ways of presenting that. And so that's probably my biggest challenge to you all. The technologies that we're seeing have some really, really phenomenal promise, and we're seeing really, really good capability now and the promise of the future. And so, one, I would appreciate and give appreciation to all of you as you continue to work it. And then two, as we continue to even further enable it, there will be constant work there and constant demand signal. So thank you for that.
Sir, we have one more question from the audience today.
Okay.
Do you believe that the U.S. Navy is able to conduct operations in a contested environment when the RF spectrum may be a contested medium?
What I would tell you is that I can take the fight to the enemy and win when I need to take the fight to the enemy and win. This will be a challenge. I continue to need the ability to operate with this challenge, but I would be misspeaking if I said I couldn't conduct operations when challenged. This spectrum and all of the spectrum work we have to has to continue to provide resilience and the ability to skip through that. But no, I don't cede the ability to operate with the spectrum challenge. I consider it a challenge, as you all know. But we're constantly challenged, as we have been in spectrum, as we have been in EW, in all of those things, and we've continued to operate. So thank you for the question. Yes, I want to be better. Yes, I want more resilience. Yes, I want different ways to do that. But as you're talking to me now, the answer is yes. All right, I think I'm getting the hook. I certainly want to thank everybody for being here at TechNet, for giving me the opportunity to talk with you this morning and welcome you. There's an enormous amount of speakers I know, as I've seen throughout the schedule that you all have, as well as all of the items and opportunities on the floor, and the ability to collaborate together and synchronize with military leaders here. We appreciate all that you do, and the teamwork that we can do together to make this a viable, more powerful partnership is always going to be our challenge, and it's always going to be our strength. So thanks for all. Have a great day. Great day.
I'm going to say a thing and give you a poem. Yeah, just for the tail end of our speakers, as you know, we love to thank them for what they provide to us as an audience, for the great words that you've shared, the perspective, the things that this crowd can take back and action on, and hopefully provide you the capabilities that you've shared with us that will help you to be a stronger warfighter in all domains. From our chapter and from International, we do like to give you a gift.
Oh, wonderful.
This is our AFCEA 2025 coin. Please carry it with pride.
I will.
Appreciate what you've shared with us today.
Thanks so much for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
And also on your behalf, we'll be giving a gift to the Friends of Windward Wounded Warrior in your name as part of our effort to help those people who need help after serving and going through what they're going through. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks so much. Thanks, Vic. All right, buddy.
Thank you, Admiral, for that excellent presentation. As the Admiral was talking, it brought to mind some words that my father told me, and that is, when you're up against a challenge, meet it squarely, face to face, lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's in vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fail, but you may conquer, see it through. And the Admiral laid out some challenges for us, and part of that this week is for us to see some of those challenges through and work together to get there. So I look forward to that. I have a few admin remarks to put out concluding this event. One, if you haven't done so, please download the TechNet Indo-Pacific 25 app available on the Google Play or Apple App Store to get the latest updates for the conference events. Also, please visit the STEM Innovation Showcase located on the 3rd floor, room 307 Alpha Bravo, where a variety of cutting-edge technologies will be discussed and demonstrated. Until 4 p.m. today, Worldwide Technology will be providing parking validation at booth 1307. Again, parking validation at booth 1307 on the exhibit floor. Thank you, Worldwide Technology. Also, at 10:30, Major General Jeffrey Vanentwerp Commander, Special Operations Command Pacific, will present here in this ballroom, Ballroom 3. Lastly, at 1100, we'll have a networking lunch followed by a 12:30 presentation by General Ronald Clark, Commander of the United States Pacific Army. This concludes this portion of our scheduled events. Thank you for attending, and another round of applause for Admiral Koehler.